If you're a teacher and all your extra money is sitting in savings, you might feel safe, but you're actually not building any freedom. Now, I'm not saying skip the emergency fund piece, because once that foundation's built, then we have different jobs for our money. Some is to protect us, and others is for financial growth. So before us teachers start investing our money aggressively in the stock market, we need basic money structure first. Hi, I'm Jesse from The Smart Money Teacher. I help teachers make smarter money decisions and also help them build financial options outside the classroom. Now, a typical teacher money order that I like to follow as my philosophy is first start with your immediate emergency fund. So again, that could be anywhere from something that's $1,000 to $2,000 that you have set aside. So if something were to happen, you have that money available. Now, I know a lot of people will say that high interest debt, that should be priority number one. And I agree. High interest debt that's in the teens or in the 20% or higher, that's something that we need to prioritize. But again, having that basic emergency fund at the beginning is going to help us in case something does happen. Now, after we get our basic emergency fund set in place, we have to attack the high interest debt. One of my favorite philosophies is you cannot outgrow or outpace high interest debt. The S&P 500 typically returns about 10% yearly over the past 50 years. And high interest debt, whether it's credit card, payday loans, anything that's in the teens or higher, that is going to outpace any gains that we get in the stock market. While we have this high interest debt, which can erode our net worth. After we get our high interest debt paid off, then we need to attack and get an emergency fund. Can be anywhere depending on the person, because personal finance is personal. It can be anywhere from 3 months to 12 months. As a teacher, as I feel like that if I have 3 to 6 months of my expenses put away in a high yield savings, that will make sure that I'm insulated in case I have something terrible that happens. As teachers, if you were to lose your teaching job, you could get another job pretty quickly. Now, I know it might not be the same pay as it was at your current district, but you could still find a way, if you wanted to stay in teaching, money coming in monthly. And just some keys to be aware of when you have your full emergency fund. That money, again, sit it in a high yield savings. That money is supposed to be boring. It's not money that you look at and say, oh, it'd be nice to take a little bit from there and build up the vacation this year. And say, hey, I think I need to get new tires for my car. Those are different expenses. Your emergency fund, again, it's an emergency. A few examples could be maybe there's a death in the family. I had a friend one time, he had his HVAC system and his hot water heater all go within a period of about 4 weeks. Now, if you know that you have an expense coming up, maybe it's your car insurance or home insurance, that should not be pulled out of your emergency fund. You know that that's going to be an expense in the future, so you should have that money in a sync fund, which is something that I'll talk more about in later videos. But again, the emergency fund is available. It's not in a CD. It's if something happens, you're able to access that money. Places that I like to park my money for my emergency fund, I have a Schwab account, so I just put it in its money market account, which is SWVXX, and then monthly I get distributions back into that same account. It's earning more than if I just left it at my local bank account or checking account. Another account I like to use as well is Betterment. I have no affiliation with either of these companies, but it's just somewhere that I like to store my money. You don't need to have your emergency fund spread out across multiple platforms. Just find one that fits for you. Now that the high yield debt is knocked out and our emergency fund is built up, now it's time to start investing our money for the long-term growth. This is not money that you're going to need in 1 to 2 years. As teachers, we can use accounts like our 403B, our 457B, our Roth IRA. We could even use our HSA if your district offers that. So these are accounts that we're already usually putting money towards. Now, again, maybe some of us have put money towards it a long time ago and haven't thought about it. This is a good time to go back and reassess. Where are you putting your money? Are you putting it in pre-tax buckets or post-tax buckets? Again, knowing those things just kind of help give you more financial options in the future. And when it comes to our retirement accounts that our districts offer, some of us have more autonomy or flexibility than others, and that's okay. However, it's still good to know what your district offers. But even outside those funds, this is important as go on to Schwab or Fidelity or Vanguard and start your brokerage account, which is a taxable account. This is a type of account that can provide you flexibility, especially if you want to retire early or if you end up changing careers entirely. But this is money that is already taxed, and then you put it into your brokerage account, and then it will be taxed when you take it out. However, though, that money can be accessed whenever you want. Unlike certain accounts like the 403B or 457B, where you might have to wait till you're 59 and a half, or you have to leave the employer in order to access that money, the taxable account gives you the most flexibility. Now, as a beginning investor, I would not just put my money in one single stock. A lot of us, when we hear investing in the stock market, we hear all the big names, Tesla, Apple, Amazon, and we think that we need to get in and jump into those individual things. However, there's a lot of ETFs that can follow multiple companies. A couple of ETFs that I like to use is VTI, which tracks the total stock market, or VOO, which tracks the S&P 500, VXUS, which tracks international stocks and gives you that international exposure. And then one of my other ones would be QQQM, which is more tech heavy, and it's more aggressive, which is tilted towards tech. In another video, I'll show you which ETFs that I look at before buying. I like to look at their expense ratio. I like to see what are their top holdings. I like to see how diversified they are. Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't to chase stock price tickers. The goal is to build a system that you understand and that you can build your financial net worth. So the order matters. Build a starter emergency fund, attack high interest debt, then build your full emergency fund, and then invest in long-term assets. Because as teachers, we can't only rely on our salary steps, our raises, and our pension. If we want options, we need assets too.